Okay, day 80, part 3. I've talked about how Eric Braverman was important to kind of get the World Bank stamp of approval so that Hillary could funnel USAID funds through this funding mechanism called IHRC that turns out to be a bribe funnel for all these Middle East topples in Sudan and Libya and was planned for Syria and so forth. The use of Stinger missiles and sarin gas and all that. How Sid Blumenthal, a Clinton Foundation employee, organized it all. And so the key question is, does Braverman know about this activity? I talked about DynCorp in the last movie I did, and I am not the person. I'll say again, the person that gets the credit here is Cynthia McKinney. She in 2003 questioned Donald Rumsfeld and said, hey, why is a company that's caught in extensive contracts, getting extensive government contracts, that's caught sex trafficking, why are they being given government contracts? This is something that Jason Chaffetz could ask tomorrow. This has not changed. Plus, we've also gone from a deficit of 2.3 trillion to a deficit of 6.7 trillion since she asked that question. When she asked the question of where's this missing money, it was only 2.3. Now we're at 6.7. You're going to find a lot of this money is being funneled back into these Gladio operations that DynCorp is running. So Cynthia, I want to make sure I am clear that Cynthia McKinney is the one. I'm giving her credit. She was on this 15 years ago or 13 years ago. Here's, again, I don't quote information that's not in the hand of the conspirators. Here's Cheryl Mills writing to Hillary Clinton saying, uh-oh, another shoe's about ready to drop on this DynCorp scandal. So they're conversing amongst the conspirators about the DynCorp scandal. And this one is going to be about a guy named Flint Chambers, who works for DynCorp in Afghanistan, having these 15-year-old boys give lap dances. Now, later they try to say, oh, it's tribal dancing. Well, when you're on the lap of somebody, that's not tribal. At least I don't know what tribe. So, again, in the hand of the conspirators, okay? So he's also from Colorado. So this is all you're going to find. This is all going to be centered around Denver, Colorado, where the CIA moved its headquarters and has been continually moving their headquarters to kind of an underground complex underneath the Denver airport. You're going to find that to be true. You're going to find this University of Denver school, as I mentioned before, is going to be your spy school. And you're going to see a lot of brownstone operations in Boulder, Colorado, as I've mentioned before, near the Boulderado Hotel. And you're going to find that about 40 of these operations have been run by DynCorp. They run every 2 years, and they just change the names. And then they arrest Patsy at the end. And it's going to be Pug Winokur from DynCorp, who's going to be behind it all. He's going to be running asset forfeiture programs, targeting overseas. He's going to be targeting key people, as I mentioned before, the presidents, the heads of the intelligence service, the heads of the military, the judges, and so forth. Same thing in the U.S. for blackmail purposes. But you're going to also be running these sex entrapment schemes for regular people. Just, they have under $1 million in assets and asset forfeiture under the guise of crime fighting. Well, you know what? It's not crime fighting when you abduct pretty young ladies like this, and she's gang raped repeatedly. I mean, she says she's been gang raped. If you listen to her tape, it's hard not to believe her. Thousands of times, gang raped thousands of times. You're going to find, as I mentioned before, that in Kosovo, Bosnia, Haiti, all over Central America, Colombia, it can be run through Carlos Slim. I'm going to just tell everybody right now through the microfinancing app on the cell phones, and he's going to be involved as well. Chris Hill's going to be involved as well. And this is a program that was started from the CIA to get into the FBI, and it's called JTTF. And Google anytime DynCorp before an Olympic Games, like she was abducted right before the 2000 Vancouver Olympic Games, Winter Olympic Games. So look for abductions right before Olympic Games, about a month out, and then look for deaths where young ladies are murdered, like here, right after Olympic Games, because they basically use them up. All these dignitaries come in from all the different countries. They're kind of being used in a kind of hospitality suite type environment. And then when they're done, they're going to be murdered. And this is where I was talking about with the Long Island serial killer. It's going to be almost a calendar of Council on Foreign Relations meetings when those girls are being killed. So these are your 1,100 donors. Here you go. This Justa Enterprises is going to be DynCorp to a large extent, and they're going to be this. They're also going to be reinvesting this money through the Council on Foreign Relations, those oil partnerships, and these oil and gas plays. So the same people that are doing the sex trafficking are going to be the same people that get plugged into these oil and gas plays through Frank Justra partnership. You're going to find all these oil guys that are being brought in all over the place are also going to be the people that are abusing the girls. It's all the same group. Okay, and it's going to be, and the key question is, does Braverman know that? I don't think he does. I think he just thinks, hey, this is a World Bank thing for oil pipelines. And when he finds out, he's obviously, mortified. So you're going to find here, again, Monica Peterson. It's going to be DynCorp. This is all that Braverman knew. Hey, I'm with World Bank, or I'm a McKinsey consultant for World Bank, and I'm just helping create a funding mechanism for USAID. He doesn't know about any of the micro loan sharking. He doesn't know about any of the human trafficking. He doesn't know about any of the bid rigging and bid fixing here with the construction companies. He might know that. He might know about the pipelines, but I don't think he knows about anything in here. And again, you're going to see Carlos Slim. I'm going to attach him directly to human trafficking in Central South America and the Caribbean. So I didn't buy the helicopter through DynCorp. This is Jeffrey Epstein's helicopter, DynCorp helicopter. He's a longtime employee. Conchita Sarnoff is 14 years or 11 years of evidence. These cases are not done, by the way. Jeffrey Epstein's 2 cases are still pending, the 2 Florida cases and the New York case. So and as far as Osprey Global goes here, Jason Chaffetz is free to say, look, if a U.S. contractor like DynCorp is contracting with the federal government and is involved in sex trafficking, then he has every right to call an investigation. We don't even have to worry about the Clinton Foundation investigation anymore. Just call hearings for DynCorp. And you've got Osprey Global can be called in as well because they're a government contractor. So there's standing here. There's legal standing for both DynCorp and Osprey Global, whether or not Hillary Clinton's involved or not. As a matter of fact, I'd like to see the investigations move along those things. Just call it sexual trafficking in government contracting, and just leave Hillary out of it if that would make the sexual trafficking go away any sooner. But look, I mean, I'm not saying this. There's just 40 kids in the one case, and there's up to 102 total Jane Does involved in this. So, again, we know Drumheller is involved. We know that Hillary is using CIA information all through her career, going all the way back to when she was Shadow Attorney General in 1993. So we need to really go back all the way to Bosnia, where they were child trafficking in Bosnia in 1993. We need to go all the way back and get everybody out that was involved in that, and subpoena everyone involved. So you can start with the first guy I put on the first page. I can't remember his name. And again, you're going to find this is going to be DynCorp again. Helicopter. It won't be, hey Jeff, let's take a general out to have him rape a 13-year-old. It's not going to be that obvious. It's going to be him sending emails saying, hey, how's the helicopter doing? Or some kind of code around that's their little trigger code for, hey, I got a general that I need to take out to Little St. James. So again, the emails are the key. We know from the FBI search warrant, we're not speculating here, about half of the emails between these two were classified. So we know that they're marketing classified information, and we've got a very reputable chief of detectives here. I think he's 40 years in the New York Police Department, saying 500,000 of the emails are State Department. Now there was a huge intimidation of 6 people in New York on the NYPD to suppress this. He also 3 different organizations have subpoenaed the cell phone records, and I think we have to subpoena all the DynCorp employees in DynCorp investigations, all the cell phone records of everyone, and then push it out there on the internet. We have to know where everyone was at all times, whether it was classified or not, because they're involved in criminal activity. There's just, there's 6 trips to Epstein's Island by Hillary. that's according to U.S. Secret Service logs. There's 20 by bill. So, again, child exploitation in this police chief saying this, not me. Child exploitation, sex crimes, perjury, obstruction of justice, money laundering, pay for play on these emails. I'm going to take him at his word. Parit Bahara, I think this is something that you should look into, since this is happening in your city, that a few blocks away from you. I realize you're all the way downtown, but I'm just saying you could get up there to the Council on Foreign Relations on a subway, and you don't even need to take a cab. So this situation here, the most pressing of all the investigations is going to be Haiti. From what I've seen, Haiti looks like a funnel for women in both directions, in direction of Europe and also funnel back for South America and Central America. So Haiti's kind of like this kind of holding ground or pen where they're held until their photographs are being shown. Now, this is right from the Fort Lauderdale Police Department that showed that Jeffrey Epstein had 50 or 60 different photographs laid out, and then the people coming in would look at the photo and decide which girl they wanted. So, and I think you're going to find this shooting in Fort Lauderdale, the last person killed. Look at the last name released, the 5th victim is going to be related to this case. So, Council on Foreign Relations, Long Island serial killer. Just look at when the major meetings were, right before a World Bank meeting. That's why I put this. CFR does a lot of other stuff, kind of outreach to the community and industry, but look at the meetings right before a World Bank meeting. And then look at abductions before, and then deaths after in the Long Island serial killer case. Okay, that's it for today.